What's up guys, it's Wasabi and I'm back with another review. Today we have the Wooting 80HE that was sent to me to share with you guys. Thank you Wooting. But as always with the content on this channel, these are my thoughts, personal opinions and experiences with the product. Now here's a quick look at the packaging because that's what you pay for too. First you got the Wooting postcard, and this is a fun little thing that they also include with the 60HE. This hard plastic is a dust cover that is made with 60% recycled PET plastics. You got the pre-built Wooting 80HE. You get a USB-C to C cable in this black and gray colorway, and it comes with a USB-C to A adapter, pack of 7 additional keycaps, 1 switch and keycap puller, 3 Lekker 60 V2 switches, and 1 Lekker 45 for you to try if you're curious about the lighter switch option, a pack of 4 spare screws, pair of 6° and 10° feet to change the keyboard typing angle, and that's pretty much all that's included inside the box. Now before we go any further, let's manage some expectations here real quick. This is the biggest keyboard release of the year, and for good reason. The big success and popularity of the Wooting 60HE built a massive community of people who enjoy their keyboards, and also it's a keyboard that you would see being used pretty much at every esports tournament. So just imagine the hype and excitement around this release. Something to note about this review is that my perspective and impressions of the 80HE is coming from using the 60HE completely stock. I've been using my 60HE as my main in my free time, and also when I'm testing products from other peripheral categories. Now the version of the 80HE that I have is the pre-built option. It's completely stock with no additional add-ons, and it goes for a price of $200. The design of the 80HE is, well, from the top down it's simple, and other than this being a new layout and having the light bar, it's very much a clean looking keyboard. For me, what stands out the most with the design is the skirting of the bottom half of the case that flows down from the front, goes around and angles back up as it continues towards the back. It gives elegance to the case, and the cool thing is that the angles on the sides feel like handles. Makes it easy to grab and lift to reposition your keyboard, which is something that I do pretty often. The bottom of the case, you have the replaceable back feet to change up the tilt angle, and if you go with this ghost colorway, you can see the signatures of the Wooting team, which I think is very cool. Another thing I realized about the case is that this part right here is glossy plastic, and I'm not sure about the black colorway, but if this part is glossy for that one as well, dust and fingerprints will be visible on it. Not so much with this ghost colorway, so maybe that is something to think about when you're choosing color options. I felt that the black version would be a little too simple, and this being a highly anticipated release, thought that I'd go for something a little more special. Now this case is made of 85% PCR, and those of you who do not know, PCR stands for post-consumer recycled material, meaning that the case is made with recycled ABS plastics. Out of the box, did I notice any compromise in quality? Well, no. If you didn't tell me that the case is made of 85% recycled plastic, it would never have crossed my mind. Now here's a quick look into the build of the 80HE. You have the LED bar, double shot PBT shine through keycaps, followed by Lekker 60 V2 switches. The 80HE has screw-in stabilizers, a PC switch plate, silicone sandwich pad and gasket mount, the PCBA of course, a PET film which is basically a tape mod, and you can see that they added their Wooting touch to it, keeping things fun. And in the bottom case you got the EPDM foam and the USB daughter board. And since I'm at it, I'm gonna assemble the 80HE back into this frost case. This case is available as an accessory or as a case option when you purchase the 80HE module. The 80HE is not heavy at all. It weighs in at about 790 grams, and it's just enough weight to keep it planted on my desk. Whether you go with the ABS or the zinc alloy option, both have their perks. But I like ABS a little more because it's light enough to easily reposition on my desk, take it out with me if I have to, but most importantly, it's durable and I do not have to be extra careful when handling things on my desk to not accidentally scratch the paint job if it's coated aluminum. The 80HE has a brand new layout that they are introducing. They are doing something different, which I think is great. My experience using this 80% layout feels just like using a TKL. So you got the F-row arrow keys and function keys on the right that are laid out just like what you would expect on the 10 keyless, just that this has one less row of function keys on the right. With most 10 keyless keyboards, I end up knocking my mouse into it, especially when I game with low mouse sensitivity, so the bit of extra space works nice for me. The pre-built version includes the black double shot PBT backlit keycaps. These are OEM profile and are pretty much like the ones that you get on the 60HE. Legends are clear and the RGBs shine through well enough. They look sort of grainy with a bit of sheen under the light, and these are my preferred keycaps to use for gaming just because of how they feel and the amount of grip that you get. It's also said on their website that with these keycaps, the these will never fade, tear, or wear, which with my experience on the 60HE, these keycaps are pretty much indestructible. So I've been using the Lekker Linear 60 V2s on my 80HE, and coming from using the V1s, the V2s are nothing mind-blowing, but for magnetic switch, they sound and feel like an improvement, where these have a tighter tolerance that reduces stem wobble and a new bottom housing. And also this has more loop added in with the new production process. It's an improvement of the V1s as it should, but don't expect a drastically different experience. As the default switch for the 80HE, it's very good, which I think most gamers would find enjoyable with the way they sound and feel. Wooting does have the Lekker V2 Linear 45s available, which would be a good choice if you prefer a lighter switch experience. Typing on the 80HE feels good. Keystrokes are smooth and stable, and how it sounds is pretty great for magnetic switches. There is some flex to the keyboard, just a little, but not to the point where it's very noticeable. I have a preference for stiffer typing experience when it comes to gaming because it feels a lot more direct and consistent for me, but I feel that with the 80HE, it's rather well balanced, which a majority of people would be satisfied with. If the 80HE felt more like a high-end custom mechanical keyboard, and nothing wrong with that, but that's a typing experience which I would prefer to use for work and not for gaming. The typing angles you have with the 80HE, you got 3 sets of feet to try. The 80HE comes fitted with the 2.8 degree feet, which to me feels a little too low, so I'm using the 6 degree feet, which I find to be the most comfortable. There is no best angle. I recommend you try them all out and find out which works for you. If you use IEMs or a wired headset, this is a simple thing I do to keep my setup neat and prevent my IEMs from being yanked out of my DAC by accident. Now here's a quick sound test to give you a better idea of how this keyboard sounds. The RGBs on the 80HE on 100% brightness is plenty bright enough, though the RGBs don't pop out as much as some of the mainstream gaming keyboards on the market. At 70% brightness, which is the highest you can set it to when you have Tachyon mode on, the lighting looks a little dull in person. On the software is where you got a lot of flexibility to get creative with the lighting effects and layers, and on top of that, the 80HE has this informative light bar which you can assign different effects separately from the rest of the keys. They are working on the background service for the light bar, which will be adding more features to it. For example, display CPU and RAM usage or system volume. Little features to look forward to when the final version of Wootility V5 is launched. Connectivity wise, this board is wired only and has a polling rate of 8000 Hz. So it's very up to date as far as gaming keyboard trends are concerned. The cable that you get is of a great quality and it's 2 meters long, which I appreciate a lot because with my setup, my PC is set off my desk. And also the 80HE works with the Wooting coil cable set if you have one or if you're thinking of getting one. With the launch of this keyboard, they are releasing the latest version of their web-based software, Wootility V5. At this point in time, it's still in an alpha build, but it is being updated quite frequently, so if you already have an 80HE, I would recommend to open up Wootility often to check if any new updates are available. With Wooting keyboards, you got all the Hall effect features you could ever need, rapid trigger and adjustable actuation of course. You got toggle key, dynamic keystroke, and mod tab, which is a feature that I only use on my 60HE because that doesn't have dedicated arrow keys. On top of that, you got Rappy Snappy and Snappy Tappy, also known as SOCD or Snap Tap, which are off by default. The software is very user-friendly and everything is pretty much self-explanatory, but if you're not sure, there are question marks right here that give a good explanation of the features. Just to note, the 80HE does not work with the previous version of Wootility, which you would be using with the 60HE if you have one. And don't worry, Wootility V5 is not exclusive to the 80HE. You can use it to configure the 60HE as well. I would recommend to try out the demo mode to experience the interface and the variety of features that it has, and I'll leave a link in the description below to it. Demo mode is great because many things about products are subjective, and if you guys get to experience some part of it before you buy, I think that's just fantastic. And now instead of running through every feature on the software, I will share with you how I have my 80HE set up. So I got 3 profiles and I'm gonna run run through this real quick. First, I have a regular typing profile that I use for daily typing and work. It's got a 1.4mm actuation point on all keys with all the performance features and tachyon mode off. And this is so I can max out the keyboard brightness and apply lighting effects because the RGBs look awesome with this translucent case. My second profile is one that I use for both casual and competitive games. It's got tachyon mode on for maximum speed because why not? And I set an actuation point of 0.5mm, and on a couple of other keys I have it set much higher to avoid accidental presses, and rapid trigger sensitivity of 0.2mm. And my third profile is pretty much the same thing, just with actuation point set to 0.1 on WASD, rapid trigger set to 0.15, and it's got Rappy Snappy on AD and WS. This is a profile that I only use when I feel like having a very sensitive keyboard experience, but really it's just for fun because I find myself to be consistently inconsistent with the settings this sensitive. SOCD works perfectly as described, and you have multiple options as to how it behaves, but I don't use SOCD on any keyboard because it doesn't feel quite natural with how I use my movement keys in game. Sometimes how I move the keys is not what I expect to see with my movement on screen, and it does take some getting used to, but it's not something I want to get comfortable with. But that's just me. I'd say give it a try and see how you like it. Just be aware that some games ban Rappy Snappy and SOCD, so if you play games that don't allow such features, I would recommend not to have them saved on any of your profiles just in case you forget which profile you're on when you get on the game. The 80HE is a great keyboard for gaming right out of the box. Gaming performance and features are great. If you want a high performance keyboard for gaming, look no further. Also, how it sounds and feels is much improved over the 60HE. It doesn't do too much to give a luscious premium keyboard typing experience, or does too little to be compared with some of the more expensive high performance gaming keyboards that just sound and feel unpleasant. I don't have the urge to quickly change how it feels. It is everything you know and love about Wooting, but better. This is an out-of-the-box experience where you'd be happy enjoying the keyboard stock as it is for some time, and later down the road try out mods and new accessories to keep things fresh and make it truly your own. Now in conclusion, what are 3 things I like about this keyboard? The first thing is that the 80HE is a keyboard that you can buy with confidence. Confidence about the performance, quality, and support because it's a Wooting keyboard. They are the ones who set the standard for high-performance gaming keyboards with the 60HE, and although today there are keyboards with faster response times, I don't know, in the milliseconds or something like that, you are not losing out here in any way. Wooting is very confident in the products, which I respect. The Wooting 80HE has a 4-year warranty excluding the LED, and observing how they communicate with people on their live stream, these are people who are proud of their products, they are motivated, and have a sense of ownership with the development of this keyboard. And it's things like that which make you feel confident and excited about buying this. Quite many peripherals these days feel like a gamble, and that isn't the case with this one. Secondly is the design of the keyboard itself. Quite honestly, the keyboard looks very basic other than the light bar, but Wooting is a brand that encourages you to personalize your keyboard. Try different keycap designs and cables, and with that in mind, a simple keyboard design is the best canvas you could have that doesn't limit your creativity. You got keyboards with a design that stand out more than this, but they're not as flexible when it comes to matching accessories as with the 80HE, which works well with many things. And the third thing is I feel it's brilliant that they're taking on a sustainable and environmentally friendly approach with their products and packaging, and the 80HE does a brilliant job on that. Because not only does it show that it's possible to have great quality products using recycled and recyclable materials, but by doing this, you can tell that they are thinking very far ahead with the future of the company, with what's to come, what they want to be, and what they should start doing now. And when it comes to people with such a forward-thinking mindset, you can trust that their products are not quick cash grabs to leverage on the hype around the brand. Now, what are 3 things I feel could be improved? Wow, you know, this part is pretty tough because nothing major comes to my mind, but if I were to nitpick, the software is still in the alpha stage, and for an alpha build, it's already working fine, except for 2 bugs I experienced. And I guess the second thing that wasn't so great is the switch puller that comes with the 80HE. The pre-installed switches are very tightly fitted in, which is a good thing, but the switch puller broke before I could get all the switches out. So I'd say that a stronger switch puller would be something that could be improved, and I'm just thinking about people who are new to Wooting and customizing customizing keyboards because this is all that they would have. And the last thing is that I hope to see more color variations of the PCR ABS translucent cases, maybe one for the 60HE too. But anyway, lots of people love the ghost and frost colors when I shared photos of it on my Twitter, and seeing some other colors on top of the grayscale options would be interesting. And also, if you have two different case colors, you can mix the top and bottom for a different look. Now, final thoughts and what do I think of its value? The price of the Wooting 80HE is high considering that it's priced at $200 for the base ABS pre-built model. But don't just think about that, think about the experience as a whole. It's got a great software, which when it comes to peripheral software in general, Wooting is the best. The massive community of gamers and enthusiasts is big value for a keyboard like this. And also knowing that Wooting doesn't push out new keyboards every 3 months or something like that, you don't feel bad about your purchase and it feels good owning a Wooting. In fact, if you just got the 60HE, you really shouldn't feel bad at all because this keyboard is just awesome and it still is my favorite. With Wooting keyboards, you can experiment with mods and accessories, and on Wooting's YouTube channel, Sonder is very good at doing content on that topic. Wooting's videos are very fun to watch, but most importantly, I love how easy it is for anyone new to custom keyboards to understand. You know what I love about Wooting is that you're not just buying a great performance keyboard, it's so much more than that. Now I know that quite many people are waiting for the 80HE order, and in the meantime, while you wait, or if you're interested in ordering one, I'd strongly recommend checking out Wooting's YouTube channel videos and past streams, because it's by people who are directly involved in bringing the 80HE to life, and it is them who are answering the questions that you and I would ask. Check out the videos, really, this is an opportunity that you don't get with other keyboards. It helps manage your expectations because there is a lot of hype and FOMO around this keyboard, and when you get your 80HE, you will fully understand and appreciate the wonderful keyboard that you have on your desk. And now to wrap this up, Wooting and I are doing a giveaway. And it's not the Wooting 2HE or the 60HE, we are giving away a brand new 80HE. I know, that's pretty awesome, right? Even I'm excited. To take part, look out for my post that looks just like this, follow Wooting and me on Twitter, like, retweet, and comment what you appreciate about Wooting. That last part is actually from me, I'm very curious to know. So yeah, I'm still considered a small channel, but I'm very grateful to Wooting and happy that I can do something like this for my viewers and followers. The demand for the 80HE is extremely high, and if you're just ordering it now, there will be a waiting time, but I feel that it's worth the wait because a Wooting keyboard is one that you want to keep for a very long time. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful in any way, please leave a like and subscribe to support the channel, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.